Alright, so 50 Cent goes at Floyd Mayweather again, but honestly, what did anyone expect? These two have been at each other's throats for years now. There was a time when they were genuinely close friends, but that all fell apart once competition and money entered the picture. The real breaking point traces back to their planned boxing venture together, specifically the TMT project they were supposed to build jointly. Floyd pulled out, and things between them never recovered after that. So when 50 sees an opening, he takes it. That is just how that relationship works at this point. Now, there is a YouTuber, I believe his name is Spencer Cornelia, who puts out a lot of content exposing scammers and financial situations that people do not want the public to see. He recently put out a video breaking down exactly how Floyd Mayweather has been spending his money, and the picture it paints is not a pretty one. Millions gone, a lifestyle that was never sustainable long-term. And the hard truth is that no matter how much someone appears to have, the cars, the jewelry, the entourage, it eventually runs out if nothing is consistently coming back in. We saw it happen with Dame Dash, and nobody saw that coming either. These situations have a way of sneaking up on people who live at that level of excess. If the reports are accurate, Floyd may be down to his last few million, which for someone who once generated hundreds of millions inside the ring is a genuinely sobering reality. Go check out Spencer Cornelia's content if you get a chance. He does solid work in that space. Moving on, Claressa Shields has been in the mix lately, and Papoose basically told her to be quiet on Instagram. But then Remy jumped on a freestyle remix with French Montana and Max B and took a shot at Papoose, essentially telling him to go find something else to occupy his time. The thing is, some people in the comments were pointing out that Claressa Shields is being used for clout in this whole situation, and I think there is something to that. Shields has built a following, she has supporters behind her, but the energy people should be directing toward her is about getting back in the ring, because that is where she is genuinely elite. The social media personality route has not been doing her any favors, and the situation with Papoose while he's still married, that's a whole separate conversation that does not reflect well on anyone involved. Now, Desi Banks posted something today that really made me stop and think. He wrote that he was sitting in his car just reflecting, talking about how he grinds every single day and just wants the world to recognize what he's building, that he wants to be something meaningful for his generation. He talked about the reality of living in a social media world and how the algorithm moves on from you fast, how people lose patience quickly, and how even when you are consistently putting out work and growing, it can feel like nobody is paying attention anymore. And look, Desi Banks is genuinely funny. He's been doing this longer than a lot of people realize. He's gone viral multiple times and his skits are well crafted. But the social media landscape is brutal and even talented people get swallowed by it. I don't have a clean answer for why certain creators don't break through to the next level despite the quality of their work. What I will say is this. Don't get trapped chasing the feeling of how things used to be. When it's time to evolve, you have to evolve. The vision you have for yourself will make sense eventually. That faith is sometimes the only thing keeping you moving forward, and that is not a small thing. I've been going through my own version of that personally. There were moments in my journey where the industry basically guided me out, where people switched up, where the path I thought I was on closed off. And looking back now, I can see why certain doors shut when they did. It was protection I didn't recognize at the time. The hard part is getting drained from pouring into situations and people that were never going to reciprocate. At some point, you have to let the old version of yourself go and trust whoever you are becoming next. Alright, Young Jock apparently dropped a freestyle, and I genuinely don't know what is motivating that decision. The man hasn't rapped seriously in well over a decade. I have nothing against him, but the timing and the reasoning both escape me completely. DaBaby has settled the bowling alley brawl involving his child's mother's brother, and here's the pattern that keeps repeating itself with him. Every time one of these legal situations comes around, the only people who consistently walk away richer are the lawyers. DaBaby has lost significant money across multiple cases like this, a valet situation, this, and others. At some point, the people around him need to have a real conversation about what these ongoing legal battles are actually costing him.
Scary Movie 6 opened with $105 million worldwide against a budget of only $30 million. After the standard 50-50 theater split, the film has netted somewhere around $63 million for the studio. By any financial measure, that is a win. But I will be honest with you, based on the clips I have seen, the film does not look particularly funny. I think a lot of people who go see it are going to walk out disappointed, and that word of mouth is going to hurt the long-term run. I'm not being negative for the sake of it, I'm just being straight. The clips did not sell me, and I'm usually someone who shows up for these kinds of films. And finally, Stevie J is being taken to court. Now, for anyone who needs the context, Stevie J was part of Diddy's Hitman production team, and this situation is worth keeping an eye on as more details come out. Stevie J has a serious legal situation on his hands. A company is taking him to court claiming that he schemed and plotted for years to cut them out of money they were rightfully owed after helping him track down royalty payments he had missed. And here's where it gets interesting. The firm is not just going after the old money they originally recovered for him. They want their cut of the newer deals too, which, depending on how you look at it, could come across as a bit aggressive on their end. Here's the backstory. Back in September 2005, Stevie J signed a contract designating this royalty recovery company as his sole representative for chasing down unpaid royalties. And this was not a one-time arrangement. The contract made him his permanent collector with a 35% cut in perpetuity. And that word right there, perpetuity, is the word that changes everything. That means forever. No expiration date, no renegotiation clause. If you ever sign a contract with that word in it, you'd better have an exceptional lawyer in your corner, because that is the kind of language that follows you indefinitely. Now, shifting over, Jack Dorsey, the founder of Twitter and current head of Block, which is the parent company behind Cash App and Square, has apparently been pulled into the conversation surrounding the ongoing situation with Drake. Dorsey's girlfriend drew attention after posting a heartfelt message about Drake on her Instagram. And Cash App's history as a sponsor for pop-out events, which are connected to Jay-Z's camp, is something worth digging into further, given all the moving pieces here. The relationship between PG Lang and Cash App runs deeper than most people have paid attention to, and that connection is starting to look more relevant as this story develops. Moving on, someone sent Boosie a message that read, "With all due respect, I'm gay and I have been for 30 years and you are absolutely right." The person went on to say they support Boosie's right to his personal beliefs, stand with him, and encouraged him to stop feeling the need to explain himself. And look, this all connects back to Boosie's stance on things like painted nails and what he sees as forced cultural shifts. Everyone has their preferences and their boundaries. The broader point a lot of people seem to agree on is that there is a difference between allowing people to live freely and actively pushing certain ideas onto others, especially children. That line is where the real debate lives. Over on the Rory and Mal podcast, something interesting came out involving Ebro. Ebro apparently admitted that he only supports artists who support him, which explains why he was so vocal in backing Kendrick Lamar over Drake during their beef, since Drake had never shown him any particular support. Mal's response was simple: "We got him." Because as people pointed out, Ebro had previously said that every accusation is a confession, and now here he is confirming that his support is transactional. The broader criticism of Ebro that has been floating around for years is that he played a significant role in weakening New York City's grip on hip-hop. That, unlike radio personalities in other markets who consistently champion their local artists, Ebro opened the door to outside influence at a time when New York needed its own people in its corner the most. Whether money was involved in those decisions is something that cannot be proven, that's strictly alleged, but the question of why else someone would work against their own city's interests consistently is one that a lot of people in the culture have been asking for a long time. Alright, that's going to wrap things up for today. This is Jordan Tower with JT News. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.